What's up, everybody? Major Matto 6 here, and this video is just gonna be a little, uh, like, I don't want to say lore because that sounds cringy, but a little background video on the Super Bowl video that I uploaded. By the way, very annoying how it gets copyrighted for, like, the music at the end, but, like, I can't, like, have it off. It's so stupid. Anyway, I'm gonna explain what happened in the seasons past up until this point, where you saw the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl victory, uh, and like just give you some background knowledge uh, as the offensive coordinator of this team. So I wrote down a bunch of notes, and we'll start with the first year. So the first year we do the draft, obviously, and my offense it's a pretty great offense. On the line we have Trent Williams, who we'll get to explaining like what happens to these guys by the seasons that go on, but he's a guy that retires in the future. We start off with Tom Brady at quarterback. The running back is CMC. Wide receivers are DeAndre Hopkins in the first year. At trade deadline, we acquire T. Higgins, which was a great trade for that year. And our wide receiver 3 is some random guy named Colin Johnson, who is actually a random guy on that year 1 team. And I believe he has a couple catches in the Super Bowl. So it's pretty cool to see like a random. He was like a 70 overall, and he got up to a 75. And with a few injuries, he played in the biggest game and was a key player. The tight ends for that team were Will Dissly, who was a Pro Bowler in this first year, and Daniel Bellinger, but he wasn't really relevant yet until year 2. This team went 10-6 this year 1 team. They hosted the divisional game to the the wild card game, to the Kansas City Chiefs, and lost to the Chiefs. That Chiefs team, hold on, this is this year, but we'll go back. This Chiefs team had a plethora of great players. Look at that. Devontae Smith, Offensive Player of the Year. Kenneth Walker, Offensive Rookie of the Year. And they get even better in the next season, which we'll see. And I'll show you what happens. Some key trades in this first year that happened at the deadline. Like I said, T. Higgins comes over. But another big one, he comes over from the Bears. Another big one, Trey Hendrickson, who is still on this team, comes over from the Seahawks. Yeah. A bunch of other guys came over. I think Jordan Poyer came over in that time. Gave up a lot of draft picks for that. But it didn't matter. We kept our first for the next year, which is the most important pick in the history of our team. Yeah, so we lose that wildcard game. Embarrassing a little. We lose in the first round at home to a team. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, year 2 starts. We have a draft. We have a first round pick. Pick number 17. We draft our quarterback, Kevin Greene, who I'm going to show you now because I did show before the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl is actually 30 minutes itself, and that's as far as I could save. But this is Kevin. This is Kevin Greene. We'll explain. Year 3 is the year that everybody really takes a step up, but we're on year 1 right now, or year 2. So the second year, he is a rookie. I think it was a 75 to start with. Anyway, that year 2 offense is Kevin Greene, rookie. D-Hop, who is the receiving leader that year in the NFL. So great job, Kevin Greene. Kevin Greene was number 3 in passing yards, I believe, as well. Had 35 touchdowns or something, but 30 picks. Same thing this year, but actually, it was mostly in the beginning of the season, but we'll get to that. Like I said, Kevin Greene, D-Hop receiving leader. T. Higgins, Braxton Berrios signed. I signed him. He's the wide receiver 3 now, over Colin Johnson. Will Dissly, Daniel Bellinger becomes a more prominent pass catcher, and CMC is obviously the running back still. This team went 11-5, so 1 more win than last year, and wins the AFC East. But we lose to Denver in the wild card round at home again. Denver was a great team. Look, they have Nathaniel Hackett, Coach of the Year. That team was crazy, and even crazier is we beat this Chiefs team earlier in the year, kind of like a revenge game. Like, oh, we lost in the wild card last year to you. I go into Kansas City and we win, and this team is just stacked though. This team wins the Super Bowl. Look at that, MVP of the Super Bowl and the league, Lamar Jackson. Devontae Smith wins Offensive Player of the Year again, and then Offensive Rookie of the Year or Defensive Rookie of the Year, Mitch Henry. Don't know who that is. So, yeah. But what a crazy, crazy year that was. Kevin Green really, you could see the potential there. You could see that it was there, but it wasn't there. It wasn't our year. It wasn't our year. And that's when we get to this year, which I'm not going to show you this yet. We're going to go through the playoffs or the season, and then I'll show you the playoff bracket as well. I can't show you the playoff bracket. I could probably hold on. View schedule. Yeah, here we go. So this is our regular season here. Our offense right now, or in the starting point of the season, the offense is Kevin Green, CMC, D Hop, T Higgins, Braxton Berrios, rookie DeMarcus Dockery, second round draft pick, and Will Dissly, tight end. Daniel Bellinger, traded to the Texans, actually is a Pro Bowler for the Texans in this season. He was a great guy, but I wanted to draft a tight end that could elevate the next level, and DeMarcus Dockery was a perfect guy for that. Halfway, I'll go through the season. This 1-3 to start, very bad. We played these playoff team, the Texans. Chiefs are a playoff team, and maybe the Bengals are. I don't know for sure. Regardless, 1-3 start. After this week, I believe the Jaguars or Bills. Nah, I think it was after this Cardinals week. T Higgins is traded. We make a bunch of moves. T Higgins is gone. We to the Seattle for an offensive lineman and a third-round pick. That offensive lineman is Mike Owenawu. You're starting to see this team get built here. Trade for this great offensive lineman. He was not a 90. He's gone up to a 90 because of that. But we traded him. We traded Randy Gregory, one of our old linebackers, for a younger linebacker. I'm just trying to remember the trades. I'm going to go there in a second. Which guy? Shit, I don't even know who it is. Dalvin Tomlinson, tackle. We could go through the transactions here. I'll show you what happens. It's for this year. So if I get all this practice squad stuff. You start here. Week 6, Dalvin Tomlinson is traded from the Ravens to the Dolphins for Randy Gregory. So there you go. And we also get a draft pick from that next year, third round, and a round 7 pick of this year. Great. I think that was a great deal, obviously. We re-sign this offensive lineman, and we get this in the T Higgins trade right there. We get this guy, and a third round pick for this year. Re-sign a bunch of guys. Re-sign Braxton Berrios. We extended him because since T Higgins was gone, we needed guys to step up. And actually, you'll see in a little bit. Oh, they don't show it. All right. Well, actually, we traded for Paris Campbell here at some point, who was actually a great asset to this team. Great asset. All right. So that's basically up to the trade deadline. The team's a little different. The offense is now Kevin Green, CMC, D Hop, Paris Campbell, Braxton Berrios, DeMarcus Dockery, and Will Dissly. So we go on a big win streak. We get to see like the best of the best here. We start playing really well, and then we get to hold on. I gotta find the game. There's a coming out game for Kevin Green, basically. played this one 4 times. You'll see why in a sec. This was the coming out game for Kevin Green. 300 yards, 4 TDs, no picks. Crazy game. CMC has already been taking the league by storm. He actually led the league this year in rushing. Crazy. And you see DeMarcus Dockery coming in clutch, Paris Campbell coming in clutch. These guys are great. This one I played 4 times because I needed Kevin Green to get this ability. And I rage quit a little too early 3 times because I threw a pick in the last one too, but I was like, just fuck it. Let's just play. And the challenge was to get his Superstar X Factor 4 touchdowns or over 400 yards with 1 or less pick. And there's stats. He gets 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, and 300 yards. Great game overall. DeMarcus Dockery, great. D-Hop, great. This was a great team. This is a great team, just period. So that's Kevin Green gets a Superstar X Factor. And while that's in the background, DeMarcus Dockery gets a Superstar ability, not the X Factor one. Anyway, we win out, go to the postseason now, looking scary. We play the Raiders week 1, or the wild card week, host it. We are the 2 seed here. We are the 2 seed. Here are our stats. Kevin Green, great game. 8 for 27. That's pretty, or 18 for 27. Pretty good. CMC goes off this game. Crazy. And here are our guys. D-Hop had a crazy game. DeMarcus Dockery's going off. It's these guys, bro. They're my guys. Then we host a divisional game. First, the Texans. This is a great team. This was one of the best offenses in the league, actually, this Texans team. Dak and Jalen Waddle was their number 1 target. Kevin didn't have that as great of a game, but it's still a solid game. Like, you're not going to complain about that. CMC has a great game, obviously. Dockery. D-Hop was a little silent because in this round, D-Hop gets injured. He actually pulls his groin, and that's why he's not in the Super Bowl. He pulls his groin this week, and it's a big loss, and it actually elevates one of our guys, though. Oh, these guys are nothing. It elevates a guy I was talking about earlier, Colin Johnson, to the wide receiver 3 spot. At this point, going into the AFC Championship game, at home versus the Steelers, because the Steelers actually beat the 1-seeded Broncos and the Chiefs, who we lost to the year before, or 2 years ago, and we lost to the Dolphins and the Broncos last year. They beat both of them, the Steelers, and the Broncos were the 1 seeds, so we host the AFC Championship game. Crazy game. I wish I actually saved the clip of this game. This game was a lot. Not that the Super Bowl was bad. This game was crazy, though. Rookie quarterback. There's a little lore story real quick. Kevin Green and Dexter Coleman were drafted in the same class in the first round, and they are kind of, I imagine, as a little rivalry, like which quarterback's better in this rookie class, in that rookie class 2 years ago. Excuse me. And Dexter actually won Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think. Maybe I was wrong with that. Maybe I'm wrong. If I go back in the video and you see Kevin Green's first year. Did I show that? Actually, well, I'll show that in a second. But this is the matchup we had. CMC had an amazing game, broke off a crazy run, the biggest play, I think, of up to this point, the biggest play of the season. 21-21, fourth quarter, 7 minutes left. We're at our 25 after a kick. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the word. After a knee in the end zone, whatever. I can't think of the word. CMC takes it 75 yards to the house on the first play, and that's just a momentum shifter. We win the game, 28-21. Without D-Hop, too. We didn't even play too bad. Paris Campbell stepped up. And it was a great game, and running the football was key. And there's Colin Johnson, our guy. That's our guy from the first year. With Tom Brady. He was catching passes from Tom Brady. And now he's here. Then we get to the big game, the Super Bowl. What a crazy game. The storylines are crazy. Kevin Green goes off. He wins MVP, but I think the real MVP should be this guy right here, Christian McCaffrey. He's crazy. DeMarcus Dockery has a good game. Paris Campbell has a beautiful touchdown catch. Beautiful one. Ugh, these guys. Colin Johnson catches a pass. Like, I love these guys. I love seeing these players develop. And we win the Super Bowl, obviously. I'll show you the league winners here. We'll go to the year before as well to see if did Dexter Coleman win? No. Courtney Briggs won Offensive Rookie of the Year last year. And then this year, here it is. Kevin Green wins Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes on the Ravens wins MVP of the league. We go up against Ramiro Gallo in the Super Bowl. And just a crazy year. Crazy season. Great to be here as a Super Bowl champ now. The lore for this, a little more. That was just explaining what we were up to. Matthew Diddy is the offensive coordinator of this team, and he is now going to be the head coach of the Browns. Yeah, like that's the lore of it. That's really it. I'm gonna go through each roster spot, just if there's anything extra. Kevin Green, like I said, gained his superstar X Factor at the end of this season. CMC always had one. He always does. Cordell Patterson's been franchised. He's been on the team since the first year, but he has not played. Stevenson we signed because there was space. D-Hop, great player. Barrios, this is a guy I drafted last year. Paris Campbell, look at this offensive line. The defense I'm very proud of. I started with Dexter Lawrence, and he became a 99, and he's just been unstoppable. This is a great team. It's a great team. Martin Edwards, I drafted as well. The same year as Kevin Green. It was Kevin Green and Martin Edwards were my best draft picks, and they really proved it. Really proved it. Yeah, so that's the team. Kevin Green, Super Bowl MVP. Can't take that away from him. Man, what a great! I love this franchise. This was a lot of fun, but I'm just here to explain a little bit of the background and what's going on. Now Matthew Diddy is on to coach the Browns. Yeah. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.